Welcome to the latest video podcast of Silicon and Spice, where tech leaders share life's flavors. And today we have Nipurn Doshi here. Do you want to wave? Currently, Nipurn is the design leader at Sigma Computing. You guys are a Series D business analytics solution with spreadsheet-like interface. It's called like Excel on steroids, right? Because it's really powerful spreadsheet interface. And you've been there for 7+ years, and previously you also worked in the hospitality designs. So my first question is, what is your path into design?
So I started my journey as a undergrad in computer science. And after graduating, I worked as a front-end engineer for 3 years. But I kept asking questions like more around the why of things rather than the how of things. So I kept asking like, why are users struggling here? Or why does this flow feel clunky? And that's where I got pulled into this world of UX. And then I pursued my master's in information science, focused in human-computer interaction from Indiana University. While there, I also dabbled into a few open source projects with Apache. And then I also got this surreal opportunity to intern at NASA as a UX researcher. Yes, there was some space stuff, but there were no aliens.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's really cool because you actually have a technical like CS background. And then you kind of grab words, the design and then the front end development. And then you also did the user research, as you said, with NASA. So that's a very interesting path. Also, that is a good segue to my second question, is that I consider you are very like full-fledged designer, right? Because you could code, right? You also have the user research background. But what would a typical day look like for you? Especially in the B2B space, because I imagine, this is actually Stitch Fit's office. We have a mannequin in the back, if you guys can see. In the B2C world, the design versus the B2B world, you guys have all these external clients. I just imagine the day will be dramatically different. So I'm curious, what does the typical day look like for you?
So I'll try to answer the question in two parts. First, like comparing B2B, B2C, I think both B2C itself, it has its own flavor of like chaos, nuances, very passionate stakeholders.
Yeah.
So I think the big difference that comes between the two is that I've seen with users is that they prefer more of the speed and the clarity, and they want all the tools that they're working with as more like an extension of what they're thinking rather than just some flashy micro interactions. And I think the magic that happens in B2B is when we can shave off even like 30 seconds of somebody's workflow, or there are some smart defaults which sort of anticipate user needs. And I think we've been doing this at Sigma for quite a while, and it's working well for us. Like we just touched $100 million in ARR. Our name just came up in Gartner's Magic Quadrant.
That's impressive.
So I think we are doing something right here.
Yeah. There must be something that's okay.
Yeah, and then answering the second part of your question, like my day-to-day at Sigma as the lead designer, I kind of blend in and out of like situations a lot. I zoom into working collaboratively with my PMs, engineers, even other designers, where I align on priority. I shape the strategies. Also, we at the end of the day, we try to see all the work that we are doing is tying into user real problems or not. And so what I also try to do is I protect my time a little bit to do some deep design thinking, whether it be jamming on my Figma files or reviewing some work, or sometimes all you do is some existential debates on like, should tooltips exist here or not? So that's sort of my day-to-day.
So it's a blend of kind of talking to your internal and external customers, plus your deep thinking and then industry trends. So I do love that you get to protect your time, because I feel like that's in the product management world very common. Like me and my peers, we have meetings nonstop, almost nonstop, 9 to 5. So you can hardly take a water break or just have like lunch meetings. That's something I realized I should do more of, having my own focus time. So just kind of gather my thoughts and I think, okay, is this the right path to go down? And then as you said, in the B2B world, I would imagine you also take feedback from your big enterprise clients, right? So they might kind of, do you think they have a big influence on how to shape the design, where it's more about you have your own guidance and then they have theirs is like input is one factor, right?
Yeah, I think sometimes it all depends. Like there are things that we want to do, and sometimes some big customers ask for something. Then we go back and see the bigger picture. Like, do we really want to do this, even if this customer is asking for it?
Yeah.
And we decide based on, there are a lot of parameters here that and help us making that decision.
Yeah.
So sometimes we do have to say no to a customer, which when something doesn't align with our long-term vision.
Yeah.
So
you have to like pick and choose to make sure their opinion matters,
Yes.
but also make sure that it can align with the long-term work as you want to go.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
gotcha.
Yeah.
The next question I think is on top of a lot of people's mind is I would love to understand what are some experiences you have with artificial intelligence, just the AI in general. And then I know that recently you went to Config, so I would also love to hear some like learnings from that.
I would say I am totally down the AI wormhole, and I have like completely stopped looking for exit. Like I was joking earlier on that I don't even start designing something before I've had a brainstorming session with my AI. You know,
Okay,
like,
that's okay.
AI is sort of like my hyperactive creative partner,
Yeah.
which helps me like ideate faster. It helps me to come up with some solutions that I would not have even thought of. Like sometimes they're hilarious, but other times I'm quite impressed with what AI is able to come up with. It has helped me with copywriting. It has helped me with like tone explorations, and it even helps me with naming things. I think naming things in design is still the hardest part to this day. Like I remember when we were thinking of this new document type in Sigma, it took us months to even come down to a simple name called workbook, but because naming things is hard. So I would say
Even naming things is hard.
Yeah.
Because people would have different preset impressions. When you call it this name, everybody interprets it differently. Right? Okay.
And that's why I like AI, because I can just kickstart whatever you're thinking about, wherever you're stuck. You can just ask it a question. It can give you a few answers to start with, and then you can decide what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
And that's why I really like how even Sigma is integrating AI into the product, where features like Ask Sigma are not just novelty. They are a real utility, where you're not just asking a question and getting a SQL statement in return. You're going much beyond. You're exploring data without even knowing how to use the tool. You're going one step at a time and just learning how to use your data.
I think that's a good example because conversational analytics definitely have a big impact on PM's life. Because sometimes, I don't have time to brush up my SQL skills. If I could just ask my enterprise analytics solution, say, hey, what is the trends I should be aware of? And if that can marry into whatever product launches we have, I think that will be where magic happens. I can see that, like, actually for Sigma computing, you guys have a big benefiter. You guys will be a big benefiter in this AI-driven world. That's interesting that you said you don't even start things without AI. I think similar for me as a PM. I don't even start a one-pager or PRD without talking to AI. I think it's very similar. It really gets into your workflow.
Yeah, like it's not there to replace your creativity. It's trying to help us with just thinking faster, I would say.
Yeah, that's true. We actually recently had a hackathon within Stitch Fits. And then with the blessing from the company security team, there were so many different like AI tools we tested. I was a little bit scared, it's so overwhelming. But having a safe space to play with things and realize, actually, AI tools are kind of like the PM interns, right? They can distill what I want to say. Sometimes they're better. Sometimes, they're learning from me, learning from kind of my thought process. So what are some like AI tools you use a lot in your workflow?
So when I start on a new project and I know I've nailed down what the problem is and I've started thinking about solution, at that step, I have really started using Figma Make, which is
also you do use it.
It's just starting to work on like, can we improve our date picker, our date range control? And I gave it very simple prompts to just see what it could come up with. And it came up with very impressive results that like just jump-started my process where I would have to start from scratch every time. So it's like it's helping us get out of this empty canvas panic. What do I even start? And all I say is like, okay, I don't like this one, or I don't like this bit, and it's again conversational, but it's helping me get there. Other ways I use AI, I use ChatGPT a lot again to make sure the copy that I'm using, even before I take it to my copywriters, I am able to put the copy that actually makes sense before I push it out to anybody, like even stakeholders, engineers.
So this level of filter.
The first polish is already done, and then others can look at it. So it helps them a lot, because I think design is a lot about communication as well. So it helps there a lot. And then I like to write blogs, so it helps me to again think of some ideas there. What can I write about? What are some of the details that I can write about? It has helped me to do some deep research as well. And sometimes I even compare. I will go to Google Gemini. I will go to ChatGPT. And then give them the same question. And see like, can each one of them help me get some different types of ideas?
That's funny because I do that too. I remember there was like one time I tried to compare, just even within the Gemini workflow, I try to do something to get variations of like one single output I was looking for. I tried a Gemini and I also tried Notebook LM. And then I actually found Notebook LM is better. Even though they all have integration with the same doc, same prompt and stuff. So yeah, I love that you are exploring pairing to see, okay, which model gets to you closer. I see. My next question is kind of on the advice part. So you're a design leader, you've been in the design industry for like 10 plus years. What are some advice you have for people who want to switch into design? Do you think it's too late? You know, the AI already have a leg up, like, can people still even switch into design?
So anybody who's starting out first, welcome. I think I would try to define design first. I feel like it's like a craft that's at the intersection of systems thinking, visual communication, and also psychology. Like we have to study a lot about behaviors as well. So it's not just about making things look good. It's much more than that, where you think about how to make something work beautifully. If you're just starting out, don't worry about, will AI take my job? Will I have a job? I would say start redesigning something that you've seen overall. Take an app that you have used a lot and try redesigning it. Everything has a scope for improvement. Think through your process. I would say share your ideas that you worked on, however messy they are, and learn to love all of that feedback that you get. Because again, I feel like design is such a field where all the great designs don't come out of like some sort of isolation or some cocoon. They come out of conversation. So it's very important to let your work be public, and if you're just starting out. And then lastly, don't think of like AI as a threat. I would say take AI as your friend, where whenever you're stuck, actually use AI to your advantage. And I was talking to a friend where I was like, how our parents used to say like, oh, we used to walk 10 kilometers to do this X work. The AI is like our thing where we completed our undergrad and all that without AI, and I'm like, we used to be in a world without AI.
Yeah, that's right. We earned our degrees without ChatGPT. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So I do like your idea of anything could be redesigned and improved. I think in the PM world, we have something similar. It's like, hey, you find a problem space. How would you design an app or solution for this? So basically what you're saying is also pick a problem space. How do you redesign? What approach would you take differently? So there's still an entry for newcomers to get into the design space.
Yeah.
That's a really good advice. Do you have any demos of kind of recent design accomplishments from Sigma you want to showcase?
Yes, of course. I do use Sigma in Sigma a lot.
Oh, okay.
We dog food our own product for various use cases. Some of them like very simple tasks, like whenever a feature is released, we do a lot of usage tracking where I want to see how a feature is doing, what are people clicking on. I do not have to depend on we have a data team, a dedicated data team, but I don't have to depend on them. I just load up the data model that has all the data, and then I go to town with it. I just explore all the things I need and just want to see all the clicks, and it just gives me some quantitative user research data without having to deal with like a bunch of people first. And then it helps me to again kickstart my process of do I need to do more qualitative research on it? Do I need to improve this feature? And so on.
So basically you are able to get what you need of the design that you recently launched or something within Sigma. So you're able, you don't go to, let's say, I'm trying to think like another like Looker or another dashboard. Everything is in a centralized place for Sigma.
Right.
That's really cool.
And there are a couple of other use cases as well, which I will show as well, where our entire design team has created an application right within Sigma where everybody has their tasks and projects, but we don't have to use another third tool to actually put all of that there. We just use Sigma to create that app all within Sigma. Everybody's tasks and projects are there. You can see what somebody's working on, what its status is.
Okay, it's like a workflow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like we have started creating all of these data apps as well. One of our user researchers has recently created a form where whenever she wants to create a way for people to request for a new user research, they can fill out that form where she will just look at at the end at a table where all the data is collected and then decide which project she wants to take up.
Oh, so like all the prioritization and everything happens within like the Sigma, the centralized place. Okay.
So like you can use it for analysis, you can use it for task management, creating any application, creating any surveys, like all of that is happening within Sigma.
Okay.
We have like stopped using all of these other
Okay. that saves like time and money because I feel like a lot of things in like a person's workflow, it's like context switching, but also app switching. And can the app talk to each other?
Yeah.
Do they have the full context? So you're saying you have figured out a way to just centralize everything.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. Similar, it reminds me of Notion a little bit. A lot of startups use Notion because it's both like task tracker, like PRDs and all this information in a centralized place.
Yes.
Nice. Here is a demo of Nipurn's design workflow in Sigma.
I wanted to share a few ways I and some of our other designers use Sigma to streamline our work. So here's a dashboard that I created after completing the redesign of document headers. I was curious, how are people interacting with the new design? What are they clicking on? What's getting ignored? So I pulled together some data, did a quick analysis, visualized it using simple charts. A few things stood out. Refresh and the edit buttons are getting clicked a lot. They are getting a lot of love. But the new customize view button that we introduced only got 3.5% of the user clicks. That was unexpected. It's so prominent. It's right there on the header. So it turns out most users prefer to jump straight in and manipulate the data directly. Great insight. Second, Amanda, our user researcher, built a lightweight intake form, built again entirely in Sigma, to figure out who needs our user research support. She shares it with designers, PMs, and really anyone who needs help running a study. They fill it out, and then Amanda can instantly see all of these requests in a table view. This table is directly connected to that form, so she doesn't have to wait for responses to be complete. It's all live. Sometimes I help her update the form, tweak some questions, and remove the ones that aren't useful anymore. Third use case. We recently worked on a small but a powerful feature. When new users try to export data to Excel or Sheets, we now show a quick modal that highlights the benefits of customizing right in Sigma. I'll show an example. Here's some dummy data. I go to the table and I want to export data to Excel. We don't block user action. We let the download continue, but we start showing what are the benefits of customizing. We saw the results. 8% of the users started customizing right after seeing the modal, and even better, 6% did it on the very first try. And small numbers, but maybe in the world of product nudges, that's a solid win. Fourth example. With so many designers and projects, staying aligned can be a challenge. So we built a task manager, again, completely inside Sigma. I can go to my name, expand to all of my tasks and projects, check statuses, see who the PM is, and add the details if needed. If I want to add a new project, I just fill the form and it's instantly tracked. So it's a full end-to-end task manager application, tools, no switching context, just Sigma. Those are the 4 ways I tried to show how Sigma can be used for analysis, quick user surveys, making forms of any kinds, or even any kind of data application. Thank you.
Now we're moving on to like the bonus question. Since we're at Stitch Fit's office, I would love to know like what is your favorite clothing brand?
I would say I don't have a favorite, but I have like these comfort brands where like if I need something for office wear, I would just go to Johnston & Murphy. If I need something casual, I would go to J. Crew or Zara. But again, it's just based on like if I need something quick, I'll go to these brands. Or if I have time to go around the mall, I'll just go to all of them and whichever fits me.
Yeah. So the reason I'm asking is I've been at Stitch Fit for about a year and a half. And I realized we are a fashion-centric company and people dress really nicely. So I think among all the tech functions, I think designers also are the ones who have better taste compared to other functions. So that's why I'm curious. But yeah, these brands are really nice. All right. So now the last question is a little spicy. I think we kind of touched upon it a little bit. You mentioned earlier about like advice for people who want to switch to design. But do you ever have the slightest worry that, AI is going to replace designers? Because, let's do one prompt. We don't even go to Figma.
Yeah.
Like, you prompt engineer, like vibe coding. You just directly deploy whatever, without having designer. Do you ever have that worry? Or do you feel like, I don't know, the design team you're in, do people talk about this?
So I would say if AI ever replaces me, I think I deserve it.
Same for me.
In all seriousness, I think AI is not here to like take our jobs. I still feel like they are here to get rid of all the repetitive tasks that we have that they can just take care of without us having to think about them over and over again. Like AI is sort of, again, I think I'm being repetitive here. It's sort of a friend who is like, who's not judging me when I want to explore new things.
That's true.
It's just helping me out and guiding me along where like, okay, I am at this step. What are the 4 ways to go forward? And it just helps me out there. So what I've also felt is that AI is fast. You ask a question, you immediately get solutions. But it's also really confident. Like when it gives me 4, I'm like, why didn't I think of that?
Okay.
Sort of a feeling. On the other hand, I also feel that AI has no gut instinct. It's human. Like design is where design is all about context. It's about ethics. It doesn't have taste. It doesn't have any emotion. So that's where I feel like design comes in, and both of them have to go hand in hand to like succeed further. Like if a designer is actually ignoring AI because they just want to do their own thing, that's when it's a threat. Like I feel like you need to take advantage of all the benefits that we are now receiving with it.
I see. So what you're saying is that design is not just getting the pixels placed correctly. It's also about what problems are people facing, what emotions they're feeling, like how can we reduce anxieties, like commitment anxieties, or how can we reduce confusion. But what you're saying is like AI doesn't have the full context. We have to provide, and AI doesn't have the product or design sense. Right. They don't need to train, but it can only be as good as what's input. I guess later level up, somehow they evolve, but
exactly.
You have to train the taste.
Us asking the question of can AI replace designer, I feel is almost as saying, will spreadsheets replace vision? But I feel like those are two different things. Spreadsheets contains data, but there needs to be somebody who needs to create decisions out of that data, see the bigger picture. So like in the end, like it's all about, there are powerful tools out there. It's just up to us how we use them.
So it can make you like 5x, 10x, or whatever, but it's not, I guess it's a propeller, right? It takes you farther to bigger places, but it does not kind of completely replace you because it doesn't have taste, right? It does not communicate well with your cross-functional partner to say, hey, why do we choose this versus the other one? Like,
AI cannot hold a stakeholder meeting.
Right, that's right. Yeah, I actually saw a meme. Like, actually, one of my friends, she joined a meeting, and it's just her and 7 AI note takers. So it's pretty funny.
Whoa!
So that tweet went viral. It's just like, now this is the future of meeting, and just like I'm the only one that's on time, and everybody is just the note takers being present.
Interesting.
But yeah, I agree. I think especially when I worked with our designers, I think they actually have better empathy. For PM, you need to have good customer empathy. I think designers actually peel the onion a little bit further because for them, they have seen, the user flow. They understand the problem space better. That's why when I work with designers, I try not to be like prescriptive, right? I give them space to explore. I think that's basically what you are saying is that AI can give you more options to think about the routes you might not have thought of, but to peel the onion, you still need the human force to do it, right? Yeah, that makes sense. So if you have to pick just like one AI tool that you can use, what will be your like go-to AI tool? Well, I guess to phrase the question a little differently, what do you think contributed the most in your day-to-day life AI flow?
I, at the moment, cannot attribute all of them. Like,
Yeah,
it would be really
okay. You
hard
had to
for
pick
me
a
to.
few. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
I would pick like if two at this moment
Yeah.
would be ChatGPT and Figma Make.
Okay,
Like,
so those are the
yes.
major. Okay, okay.
I think misusing Figma Make a lot because they are in beta right now, so
Yeah.
I can go to town and do whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like both are doing a great job at like providing impressive solutions and concise and in context to what I'm thinking.
Okay, but before they released Figma Make, like, what was the tool?
Yeah.
Because they probably have like Canva and stuff. Okay.
Yes.
I see. So Figma Make is that good that you feel like they already caught up?
Yes.
Wow.
I used to use Galileo AI as well, which has now been bought by Google, called Stitch with Google. I think.
Yeah, I use that Stitch with Google.com.
Yes.
I actually use that during our hackathon because that's how you can create mods, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But you think Figma is better than that?
Only because I think because we use Figma for all of our design.
Yeah, same.
I am able to copy paste one of my frames into Figma Make and say and able to tell them the problem. Like, this is the card that I'm working on and people are not able to read it nicely. Can you make it more legible? And it does some magic on top and then it produces a bunch of variations of that card where I can pick and choose, like, I like this part of this card, this part of this card, and then continue talking to Figma Make about it.
Oh, okay. Because it has, as you said, it has the full context.
Yes.
Versus the other tools. Yeah, when I use the Stitch with Google, I realized, okay, it's more about, they have a standard mode, they have an experimental mode, but the experimental mode, you can upload a picture, but you cannot do further customization on it. And then if I want to reach a certain result, it takes me half an hour, I still don't get it, but okay. But what you're saying is that Figma Make is able to have that context and then able to adjust as you wish.
Because you can just pick up an old design that just exists and paste it into Figma Make and then say, like, let's go ahead from here. Let's make it better.
You have a better starting point. Okay, I see. And then because all the pixels are already aligned in Figma. Okay. Have you tried like vibe coding yourself?
I would say Figma Make is almost
like
because you're just having a conversation. You're not doing anything. I'm not prototyping anything. I'm not like touching any pixels. It's just let's say for the same date picker example, I copy pasted a frame of date picker onto Figma Make, and the next I ask is like, okay, these are the XYZ problems users are facing. How should we solve them? And it gives one solution. And then I say, okay, in this solution, I think you got ABC wrong. Can you try and make this better? So it's again almost the same conversation as ChatGPT, but Figma Make I think runs on top of Claude 4 right now, and I've had good
results. Okay, it's more of an iterative process.
Also been impressed a couple of times with Lovable.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is I know Figma and Lovable, they had some feud like a few months ago because they used the word dev mode or something. So I don't know. Before Figma Make was released, people were saying, these are not going to use Figma because you can just skip, you use all these prompt coding tools. But I would say, especially for enterprise level accuracy and quality, you guys need to be like pixel perfect. All this vibe coding, they are not going anywhere yet.
Because like I'm able to reach at a point and then I'm like, okay, I need to now go back to
but you have to
and incorporate these changes myself.
So, yeah. No, that makes sense. I think vibe coding is cool and fun. I tried it, but it can only take you so far. It could get 80%, 70% work done. But if you want to get to like the Sigma's level of, again, meet your external client's expectation, you have to do some human touch. Right?
Yes. At the present, I feel the same because I think it's not able to sit right next to my prototype file and not able to like work like side by side with me. I have to go out of my way to like work in Figma Make and then bring other.
Do you feel that the integration is relatively smooth? I guess it's still in beta.
Yeah, it's in beta. I have a feeling they will have to integrate a way to make the Figma Make directly be available into somebody's like design file.
Okay. So right now is still there's some manual friction. Okay, I see. All right. All these are the questions I have. Thank you, Nipurn.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. It's fun.
All right. Well, bye.